Hello, everybody. It's Joanne Musa, the Tax Lien Lady. This is Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live, where you get to ask me your questions about investing in tax liens or tax deeds, and I can answer them here. And I'm here every Tuesday at 2 o'clock, except for the last Tuesday of the month. I decided to take the last week of the month off. So in between Christmas and New Year's, I won't be here. But I want to take this opportunity to say hello to everybody and happy Hanukkah to all my Jewish friends that are celebrating Hanukkah. And Nicole should be with us shortly. And you can type your questions into the comments. I'll be able to see them. I'm here on StreamYard. I'm not on Facebook, I'm on StreamYard, which goes right to Facebook, and I can see your comments. So you could type your comments in, but first just say hello, let me know where you're from, and hi, Nicole, I'm glad you're with me. We did have a question ahead of time about, and let me just I'm going to take a look at, because Debbie had sent it to me. And Nelson had asked, do you think 2021 is going to be a good year for tax liens because of the mortgage forbearance? And yes, I do think it's going to be a good year for tax liens. There was an increase in tax deeds this year, but not in tax liens yet. And we don't expect that to happen until 2021. Because of mortgage, not so much the forbearance, but the moratorium there was on foreclosures, which now many states have lifted, and they're doing foreclosures. But there is a moratorium still on evictions. It's very unfortunate what's happening now. But the nice thing is when you do a tax lien foreclosure, and if somebody's living in the house and they're taking care of it, you don't have to evict them. You can keep them in there and rent it to them. You can't do that with a mortgage foreclosure. So if you're a real estate investor and you're doing short sales, you're buying a house from somebody to protect them from the mortgage foreclosing, you can't do that and rent it out. You can't do a short sale and rent the property out to the people that live there. You have to evict them. They're not allowed to live there because the mortgage company considers that fraud. But when you take a house over in a tax sale auction, the house is yours and you could do whatever you want with it. And if there was a mortgage on the property, they go away. They had the opportunity to pay it off and they didn't, to pay the taxes and they didn't. But normally when there is a mortgage on the property, the mortgage company is going to come forward and pay it. Sometimes that doesn't happen. Now, if they didn't get properly notified, they could come back and negate the sale. But as long as they got properly notified, if they didn't come forward and pay the taxes, they have nothing to say about it, okay? All right, so let me know who's here. Tell me where you're from. Say hello. It's nice to know who's here and where you're from so that I know how to answer your questions. And as I just said with the question that I did answer about, do we expect more volume of tax liens and tax deeds in 2021? Yeah, we do. We haven't seen that yet with tax liens. We have seen that a little bit with tax deeds in 2020, but not tax liens. And yeah, we do expect to see that. Plus, a lot of sales have been postponed. Some states postponed all their sales until 2021. Okay, and some states just postponed their sales that were supposed to be taking place over the summer until either later in the year or early 2021. So I do expect more sales in 2021 and more properties in the sales. Did we get any other questions, Nicole, that we got ahead of time? And I have a really big announcement. First of all, if you're not on my list, my subscriber list, get on it. The newsletter went out today, and there were some announcements in that newsletter, some things in the newsletter. One of them that I want to tell you about is, by the way, I have bare walls behind me because I moved my desk to a new corner of the room, and I didn't put anything up here yet except for my $1 million bill. It's not real, but it looks real, doesn't it? It's a $1 million bill. Okay. So what I was going to tell you about was a really exciting thing I have planned for 2021, because pretty soon it's goodbye 2020, hello 2021, and we have a lot of high hopes for 2021 that's going to be better than 2020, right? But a lot of good things happened in 2022. Also, you know, a lot of good things happened in 2020 also, so don't forget about them. But in 2021, on January 6th, I am doing an online conference on how to have peace of mind around your money, your investments, and your retirement. And, you know, investing your money and making high returns is one thing, but actually keeping the money and being able to pay your bills and living within your means and saving for the future, those are all something else. So, but I've been interviewing experts on different areas of, you know, personal finance for the last 15 years, as well as investing, different areas of real estate investing. And what I've done is I've put together 10 experts, including myself, of course, to talk about tax lien investing as an alternative investment. But I've put together 9 other experts that I'm going to be interviewing on that day, January 6th. It is a Wednesday, and it is going to be from 11 a.m. Eastern Time to 5 p.m. I'll be interviewing each expert for about a half an hour. And I'm so excited about some of the experts that I was able to get for this. A couple of new people, 3 new ladies that I've not brought to you before, who will be talking about things like making money from home, spirituality and money. And my favorite is God's economy. Okay. I'm really excited about these experts. I've also have experts on retirement accounts and real estate investing and done for you tax lien investing and note buying. Actually, I think he's going to talk about investing out of state. So I've got some really great experts planned, and this is free to come to the live day all day. On January 6th. My newsletter went out today with a link to register to the registration page. And Nicole, could you find that link and put it in there? Okay. And I believe it's at taxlienlady.com/book/ Investing for Success Conference. Okay, the name of the conference is Investing for Success. So keep that date open, January 6th. Register for it now. It is, you know, it's free to come live, but we will have the ability for a limited amount of people. We'll be doing it on Zoom. Okay, and Dave, I see that you have a question. I'm going to get to that in a minute, but I have one more announcement, and that is the other thing that I'm excited about for 2021 is we'll be doing something special for our members in the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator, giving them even more tools, access to even more tools that I'm going to be demonstrating in our coaching call tomorrow. So if you're not a member and you'd like to find out more about membership, Nicole, you could put in the link for that also, taxlienlady.com/membership. Okay, Dave has a question. My goal is to buy tax liens and foreclose on them. I've heard that it's a good idea to figure out the age of the folks. How would you recommend to do that in bulk? First of all, Dave, let me know what state you're in. And I will tell you right now that in a lot of states, you don't get to foreclose on tax liens that often. In New Jersey, where I do most of my investments in tax liens, 99% of the liens are going to redeem. More than 99% of the liens are going to redeem. The only ones that you're going to get to foreclose on are ones that you might not want. All right, because the property is just too valuable to let it go for back taxes in those areas of the country. What areas of the country am I talking about? The East Coast and the West Coast. If you go in the middle of the country, you have a better chance. Okay, Colorado and Arizona, you're talking about real estate levels that are going through the roof right now in those two states. Okay, so you're probably not going to get to foreclose on the property in those two states. If you want to foreclose on the property, I say go to places like Indiana, Illinois, even the South, Mississippi, Missouri. But you're not gonna do that too often in Colorado, all right? Or Arizona. Most of the stuff is gonna redeem, unless you're investing in land. If you're investing in land, you'll probably be able to get the property. And I do not care about the age of the people that are in there. If I'm looking for property that I want to foreclose on, if I want to increase my chances of foreclosing on it, I'm looking for property that the owner doesn't live there. Okay, I'm not looking for property that the owner lives in. I'm looking for property the owner doesn't live in, and especially if it's an out-of-state owner, I'd like that. But again, if you're in, Arizona, which is the Pacific Coast, basically, or in the East Coast, you're not likely to get it anyway, okay? But what you can do in Colorado is look for places that have out-of-state owners, okay? And do not have a mortgage, because the mortgage will most likely pay. Okay. And if you do land primarily, that's even better. That's even better. But again, you want to look for stuff that doesn't have a mortgage and out-of-state owner. Okay. Okay, and Nicole has put in a couple of links for you in the comments. She's put in the link for the conference, the Investing for Success conference that you could register for free to come to the live call. If you want all the recordings, it is going to be $149 for the recordings of the entire day. But if you purchase the recordings before we do the conference, there is a discount, and they're only $97 for the entire day's worth. So if you don't think you're going to be there for the whole day, if you think you might miss some of the experts, then you'll want to take advantage of that while it's cheaper, right? Okay. And so Nicole has put that link in there for you, and she's also put the link in to find out more about the membership. Hi, Gabby. All right, Gabby is talking about Georgia, and it's land available for taxes the same as land bank properties. I thought that land bank properties, once approved for the sale by the land bank, you would receive the deed with clear title to the property. No, you don't receive the deed with clear title to the property. It depends on what you mean by clear title. If you mean that you receive the deed, and I'm not sure about that. I have to look that up. What they call land bank properties, because Georgia is a redeemable deed state. So when you go to the redeemable deed sale, it's a foreclosure sale. It's a tax foreclosure sale, and they happen in a lot of counties. They happen every month, the first Tuesday of the month, and they happen at the same time as their mortgage foreclosure sales. And they're done live out in the open. So you need to make sure you're in the right sale. You want to be in the tax foreclosure sale, not the mortgage foreclosure sale. Those are the redeemable deed sales. For those, you have to wait a year before you can foreclose on the property. Now, what I think the land bank properties might be are properties that have already not been sold at the sale and have gone to the county. And they might be already gone through this period. You will, if you do receive a deed for it's not a warranty deed. It could be free and clear of any other liens on the property, unless they're government liens. If they're government liens, they're going to stay on there. But any other liens, it will be clear of. However, you do not get clear title to the property usually. And I'm not sure about that. I'd have to look that up for Georgia. Okay. So Gabby, you're saying yes. And I don't know what you said yes to. So if you could just specify that, what type of sale that you're talking about. Okay. And while you're doing that, Peter is asking about farmflip.com. I have heard of farmflip.com, and I might have been there, but I'm not real familiar with it. Okay. And you saw 5 acres in Colorado for, let's see, where did it go? Okay. 5 acres in Colorado for $4,500. What type of due diligence should I do? I don't buy on farmflip.com, but whatever due diligence you do when you buy a property, okay, because you're buying the property, buying the deed to the property, I would find out if you're closing with a closing agent, a title company, and getting clear title to the property. And then I would look at, you want to physically look at the property, and you want to call the zoning officer of that town that the property's in and find out what you can do with it. But that is not really a deed or a tax lien question. That's you're just buying real estate from somebody else. You want to find out what type of deed you're getting and if you're closing with a title company. Okay, so, all right, so Gabby says, yes, the land banks are left after the auction. So there's stuff that didn't sell at the auction, and they've already gone through the 1-year redemption period. I'm assuming that they've already gone through the 1-year redemption period. We're talking about Georgia, Peter. So I would, and it could be different for different counties. Not sure if you're buying this from the county or from the state, because sometimes things will go to the state and sometimes they'll go to the county. So are they, Gabby, do you know, are you buying from the county or from the state? Something just happened to my video, but I think we're still live on Facebook. Okay. And I'm just waiting for Gabby to tell me these land bank properties, are they from the state or from the county? And whichever they are, you want to check either the state's website or the county's website and find out who actually you buy them from. And you want to call that person and find out exactly what type of deed you get, and if it's not a warranty deed, you will have to clear the title. And when I say clear the title, and the other thing you want to ask is, well, number one, is it a warranty deed that you get? Because sometimes what happens is the county or the state will take it over first, and then you would have a clear title. But most of the time what happens is you're just going to get a tax title. which is like a quit claim title, and you don't have a warranty title to the property. So if that's the case, you'll have to clear the title just like you did if you bought it at the sale and waited the redemption period and then foreclosed. So you just want to find out what kind of deed you get. And the other thing you want to find out is, will anything survive that? Well, and usually not. Once they take it over, they're the owners of the property. You're buying from them. Okay. But if there's any government liens on the property, they might be still there. Okay. Okay. All right. And thanks, Nicole, for letting me know what happened. It looks like I froze for a bit. And then, but we're still good. We're still live. All right. So Gabby, did I answer your question? And Dave, did I answer your question? And Peter, I hope I answered your question. Like I said, I'm not that familiar with farmflip.com, so I don't know how they do things. You just have to find out. Okay. Gabby says, yes, I answered her question. Great. Yeah, and Gabby, you'll have to let me know how you make out with that, because I'd like to know whether you do get a warranty deed or you don't. Okay. All right. Any other questions for me? I'm going to take a sip of water here. And my other announcement for you guys is I do another Facebook Live on Thursdays now, but it's not here. It's not on my business page. It's in the Investing for Success private Facebook group. It is free to join our group at Investing for Success. Nicole, do you want to put the link in there for that group where they could go join the group? And all you have to do to join is you have to answer some questions. I just want to make sure that people that join the group are actually interested in tax liens and not joining just to join the group and solicit people there. And the other thing is you have to agree to the terms. Again, because I don't want people coming into the group just to advertise their stuff in our group. So it's a private group. It's free to join. And there's also some units in there that I did a couple of years ago. Actually, I think I did them last September. Some trainings in there. There's some units that you have access to also. So Nicole can put the link in there. And if you're not already in the Investing for Success group, go ahead and join it. And I'll be there this Thursday at 2 o'clock. But I don't do Ask the Tax Lien Lady live like I'm doing today. What I do is a little training. So if you have, I sent an email out a while ago to all my subscribers asking them what is their biggest challenge to investing in tax liens. So I'm taking those challenges that people have and doing a little training on them. The first one we did was last week, or was it the week before that? I think it was the week before that. I did one on, I know I did one on foreign investors, or maybe it was last week the first one I did, Nicole. But I know the first challenge we did was on investing from another country and getting a tax ID number and a U.S. bank account. That was the first challenge we talked about. And Nicole had just put the link in there for the group. And yeah, Nicole, was that, I've done two. Okay, so that was the first one we did 2 weeks ago. And last week, I forget what the challenge was, but it didn't take me long. I think I was only like a 12-minute training. And we didn't have too many people on because it was only the second one that we did. So I left it at that. But the others will be longer than that. And I'll be doing a little training for you. Okay. Yeah, the first one was for foreign investors, and I forget what the second one was about. Yeah, I forget. Totally forget what it was about. All right, we do have another question from Gabby. She bought a property in Gainesville. She has the deed. It looks like it's vacant. Can I just go there and change the locks? What? How did you buy it? Was it from a tax deed sale, or was it one of those land bank sales? What? And did you get a deed? Or is it a redeemable deed where you have to wait a year before you even can foreclose on it, and then you have to actually foreclose on it before you can change the locks or anything like that? Bought it from a Lands Available. Okay. Lands Available, is that the land bank, the ones that didn't go through the sale? And you got the deed. Okay, you got the deed. Is it recorded? Is the deed recorded? And what kind of deed is it? Is it a warranty deed or a tax deed? Oh, it's in Florida. Okay, that's different. You got it at a deed sale in Florida? And is the deed recorded? You got it from the county. Okay, tax deed. Yeah, I would say you could go and change the locks. Yeah, I would go and change the locks. Okay. Yeah, there's a Gainesville, Florida too, isn't there? There's Gainesville, Georgia, and Gainesville, Florida. Okay. All right. So whether you need a lawyer or not, Gabby, what type of deed did you get? I need to know what type of deed it is. If it's okay, it's a tax deed. You need to clear the title with an attorney. You need to do a quiet title process in order to sell it. In order to sell it to somebody that needs to get a loan, because the mortgage company is going to want title insurance, and they're not going to be able to get title insurance without that. However, you don't want to do it until it's time to sell. Okay, because they're just going to have to go get title insurance again when you sell it to them. So, but you don't need a lawyer to change the locks. You can go change the locks. Yeah, free and clear just means it has no other liens on it. So nobody else can say you owe us money because we had a mortgage on it or we had a loan on that property, so you owe us money. Nobody can say that unless it was a government lien. Those don't go away, okay? And you'll still have to pay taxes. There might be current taxes you have to pay on it, okay? But a clear title is different than being free and clear. A clear title means that the chain of title is checked out, that nobody can come back and say that property belonged to my great grandfather and I'm an heir and I have a stake in that property. I have an ownership in that property. Title insurance just gives you insurance on that, on the title to the property, that the chain of title is clear, that nobody else can come forward and say they were an heir to somebody that owned it or they were a part owner in it. And a title company does that. All right. And the only time you need that is if you're selling to somebody. I mean, if you're renting it out, you don't need it. If you're selling it to somebody that's getting a loan or a mortgage, or then they're going to need title insurance. Okay, and that's when you would need it. A title company you called, say they can give the title insurance. Okay, well, if they can give you title insurance, then you don't need an attorney. The only reason you would need an attorney is to quiet the title so that you could get title insurance. Sometimes if the county already took it over, you don't need to do that. If you bought it from the county and they took it over. But if you bought it at a tax deed sale, then you need to do it. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, and I think that question is for you, Gabby. How much did you pay from Shakima? That would be in the comments. All right. So did I miss any questions, Nicole? Are there any other questions? I'm just going to go back through my chat here in StreamYard and see if I see anything else. I don't think so. I think that was it. Anybody else have any more questions? And did I forget anything, Nicole? Okay, let me look through here again. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, yeah, I am not seeing any more questions. So if anybody has a question, type it in now. Because your question, Shakima, was not for me. That was Gabby who bought that property in Florida. So any other questions for me before we end this Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live? And I'll see you next week. And maybe I'll see you on Thursday at 2 o'clock in the Investing for Success group. I'd love to see you there also. And again, that's not a Q&A, but I will give a training, and I'm not sure exactly what the training will be on. However, if you have a challenge that you would like me to do a training on, let me know. Send an email to me at info@taxlienlady.com. All right, that's it for today, everybody. Thank you for being here. It's no fun to do without you here asking your questions, so thank you for that. And I'll see you next